Hello and welcome to week 4. For week 4, you're going to first complete your reading assignments. After you've completed the reading assignments this week, I want you to move on to the handout for project number 1. Project number 1 is what we call a rhetorical analysis. You have been working on this in pieces. So you've chosen a topic, you've done an annotated bibliography, and now you've got a rough draft due this week and a final copy due next week. I want you to think carefully about what a rhetorical analysis is. You are taking one of those articles from your annotated bibliography and you're going to discuss how it was written. This is an important assignment because it's not building your argument for the paper. It's not taking your topic and beginning to argue for it. We're going to start that in project number 2. But in project number 1, I want you to analyze how an effective argument works. Where does the writer use things like ethos, pathos, and logos? Where does the writer include stylistic moves that might be figurative language or hyperbole, understatement, to somehow, in effect, garner that interest and persuade the audience? So this is really what you're doing in this particular paper. I want you to think carefully about that before you draft. So you're not taking your topic and coming up with, 5 reasons that support it and developing those into a body paragraph and adding a counter argument possibly and concluding. Instead, you're going to take one of those articles and you're going to look carefully at how it was written, because that's going to translate into how you put together your argument in project number 2. So you still will be working with that topic in this project and in project number 2. But this time, I want you to think really hard about what makes an argument successful. All right, once you've looked through this document, you also have access to a sample project number 1. It is written in APA format, so this will be a good example for you as you move through it. You're going to have to set up your your title page in the same way that this particular page is set up. And then you launch into the paper itself. And so you'll move, through that. One of the interesting things about verb tense with APA format, when you're referring to actual words, direct quotes by the author, you usually use past tense. It indicates that the author has already written this. But your own observations are most often written in present tense. So you'll see some toggling with verb tense here. MLA just uses present pretty much throughout, but here we acknowledge that the piece was written in the past, and so our choice of past tense indicates that. You can scroll through that, look through, the citations, the way that this is set up, and then finally you'll look at the references page and make sure that you follow APA format 7th edition to set that up. All right, after you've looked through these, you've got the draft due at the end of the week, but you can submit it at any time. I gave you both the option of adding a Google Doc link or uploading the paper, and then you'll finally participate in a peer review of the paper with a fellow classmate. So 3 steps for the peer review. You'll attach your draft to a forum post. Then as you start to see drafts come in, locate and read one classmate's essay. Please try to go to somebody who has not received any feedback. It's really important that to the best of our ability, we give each other feedback all semester. So look for somebody who has not had any replies on his or her post and pick that one to read. You will go through these questions. I've had students do it in a couple of ways. They copy and paste the questions into a separate document, answer them and upload it. At other times, they will just take these questions right into the reply and type their responses underneath. Some just free form answer each of the questions. They just number and have their responses. But I want you to put some thought and detail into the peer review. This is an opportunity to help each other get better at writing. I will also be reviewing all of your essays, and I'll explain that more in detail next week. If you've got questions as you work through the assignments for week 4, let me know.